Hello and welcome to a very special edition of Boozy and the Beast, How to Drink Better. Can you believe it? This is our 20th episode.
Time flies and you're utterly sloshed.
Now we obviously have a lot of fun making these videos and we hope that you enjoy them too, maybe even occasionally find them useful.
But we did want to say that if any of you have any topics you would like covered, I think Robin has already proven on more than one occasion there is no such thing as a stupid question. So please just comment below or send us a message, a DM, slide into our DMs and let us know what you would like us to be talking about because we're really here for you.
And to get a little bit pissed. But in the meantime, here are some of our highlights from our episodes so far.
Welcome to Boozy and the Beast, How to Drink Better.
Whoa, Brody, get down! I can see Panzers on the horizon and no match for our Sherman stove! Get down!
What are you doing?
You said we were looking at tank method today?
Yes, tank method is a method of fermenting sparkling wine.
Oh. I'll go and get changed.
It's not the first time he's bombed on stage. What a helmet. I mentioned before looking at the importer, and this, as well as the producer, is quite useful because if you're drinking quite a few bottles and you start to realise that they're all coming from the same importer, then it's likely that you have the similar palate to them and you're probably going to like some other stuff that they do. A coffee filter over your jug. So basically you can catch...
Like a virgin, pissed for the very first time.
You've probably heard that red wine should be served at room temperature, but that was a phrase that came about before we had things like aircon and central heating. So when someone says room temperature, you generally mean 13 to 18 degrees.
Like a really hot summer's day in Lancashire.
I've never been. Bonjour, monsieur.
Oh, hello. Could I have the wine list, please?
Oui, oui.
No, I really would prefer wine. Sustainable wine is very much a thing, and by itself it may not stop Birmingham from being a seaside resort in 40 years' time, or even allow Greta Thunberg to get on with normal teenager activities, but it's a step in the right direction. So Libby, where do we start?
Okay, well the first thing to look at is just how your bottle looks. There are some really easy things you can look for to make sure your bottle is actually better for the environment. For a start, no foil. That's generally a useless thing nowadays, used mainly for branding and marketing, and we just cut through it anyway, it just delays getting to the wine. So no foil, lighter bottles. For example, this company Sea Change, their bottles are lighter to reduce carbon footprint.
So for once being a lightweight is a good thing.
And that's the only time. Try it. It's generally typically quite rich, quite flavourful, quite high in alcohol, and it's got this sensual, some say oily mouthfeel.
Feels like I'm sucking off a mechanic.
Don't put that on the label. 2018 was a phenomenal vintage for English wine.
Thank you, global warming.
Unfortunately, that is correct. Climate change and our fantastic soils have meant that our wines are really, really smashing it at the moment. They're just getting better and better. And because we plant a lot of the champagne grapes, we make a lot of the excellent sparkling wine. In fact, Langhams recently won Best Sparkling Wine in the world for their Blanc de Blanc.
Don't tell the French.
Mendoza is probably the most well-known area of Argentina for growing wine because of its mountainous vineyards.
And these are very high. Andes.
Yeah. Any sparkling wine, it needs to be served really chilled, so that's about 6 to 8 degrees. And it's so light and fruity, it doesn't have any of those, I said, yeasty, toasty notes, that actually it's going to go really well as an aperitif, just to enjoy before a meal by itself.
I'm a cheesy lover, before we know it we'll be on the brie.
Is that the last one? Is that the last cheese pun for today?
I know what a lot of people were thinking. Cheese are going to have lots of cliched cheese jokes thrown in there, but I like to think that my material is of a higher caliber, sorry.
We done,
dear,
out of your system.
We done, yes.
It's
out of the system. I did actually see some research recently showing a correlation between people who are allergic to dairy products and why their flip-flops always fall off.
Why?
Lactose.
Oh dear Lord. As enough of that, let's fondue it.
So rosé's made with red grapes but in a white wine way. Can it be made with any red grape?
Well, yes, actually, there's a huge broad spectrum of red grapes that are available as a rosé wine, which is why, and I'm going to get a little rosé ranty here, it's kind of unfair that it's just been lumped together as rosé, because there are so many red wines, so many white wines, and rosé can be made from so many different grapes and in so many different ways. I get a little bit heads up about it. Typically seen as a poolside fun time wine, which it absolutely can be, because of that broad spectrum of grapes and wine styles. Rosé is actually a wonderful wine to pair with food. Today we're dealing with wines for hipsters and hippies, the natural wine.
Hey man, is this the summer of love? I've heard the Grateful Dead are gonna be here.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I can share some sommelier love, and here's a glass of Grateful Red.
Cool, that's gonna go well with my mushrooms.
Actually, no, mushrooms are notoriously tricky to pair because of their flavours of umami. Really important to pair the wine and food together to really give the best experience, whether in a restaurant or at home. So a tannic red is going to complement red meats really well. You want to try something like a Bordeaux blend or a Cab Sauv or a Shiraz or Syrah, still the same grape.
And if you've ordered a sacrificial goat, I can highly recommend a satanic red.
But often you won't think of red as acidic, you won't be feeling that, for example. A way to do it is after you take a sip of the wine, close your mouth, and tip your head forward and see how much saliva runs into the front of your mouth, how much drool. If there's quite a bit, that's an acidic wine. That's good to know. Let's do the acid test and I'll tell you why.
Let's do the acid test.
So,
Yeah, swallow first.
swallow first. Are you drooling?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I naturally drool.
Okay. And we won't go into that too much. If you're salivating, it's good to know because that'll help you know what to pair your dish with. I'm reining it in. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay. Sorry, just no. Typically, this is a wine that has a long length after you've swallowed. Vanilla bake bite.
I don't know that one.
No, it's foreign.
It's quite good though, isn't it?
Because I'm actually salivating over the cheese I'm not eating yet.
Michael Flatley.
And that's the only time.
Hi, I'm your assistant.
Whenever you see them, that's basically.
Wine. Sorry.
I'm like, what the f am I talking about? Hopefully you found that interesting, useful, a little bit funny, a little bit weird. Either way, we are so delighted that you have joined us on this journey and hope that you continue to do so glass in hand.
And if you keep watching, we'll keep drinking.
Because we're professionals.
Cheers.
Cheers.